Hello everyone. I'm very happy again to be with you and to speak with you and give you some information towards the topic that you asked for, and as well to guide you through your questions and your exploration with me. To start with the topic that you chose for today about how you can, in a general, help with the manifesting ET contacts and how non-channelers can help. So this question comes already with a certain idea that okay, like channelers help in a certain way, and you have or non-channelers have a certain maybe disadvantage that you see channeling as a one specific way of helping to open to physicalized contact with the ETs. But in a way, this is still part of the same thing that I'm going to be talking about. That's of course, it's not a surprise that I'm going to be talking about that you have to basically follow your own, passion and becoming more of yourself, following the guidance of your heart and mind as well. So this is basically as well what happens with the channeling, that a person who does it is also following like a gift that person has, opening up those gifts and doing a certain work, energetic work. And you can do that as well when you are not a verbal channeling. So that is one part that you are always doing as well, that when you are following the passions that you have, the excitement, how you can grow still more into your more spiritual self. So that is the way how you basically do the same thing that, for example, as was implied in the question, channelers do. And you always, when you are opening up yourself more and more, you as well are channeling more of that higher vibrational energy as well. So basically, rising your vibration is not necessarily about like going somewhere up. It's basically being able to channel that higher vibrational energy through you. So that's why grounding is very important. And then when you ground and when you then are able to open up, then it's just easy to let that flow through you. So yes, like there can be, of course, issues with how you are able to flow with that flow and to open up and sustain it. So of course it's again about like focusing on yourself as well, because of course it's about your personal selves in the whole bigger picture, because when you as well like are able to let's say merge and become certain future version of yourself that is in some way better than you right now, you reach certain potentials than you have that version of you then is able to as well share more of this type of topics and help others, to guide them as well through their struggles. So that way, like you are as well like participating on manifesting physical contact, because physical contact with the ETs, of course, needs for you to not of course be the same, everybody to be same, but to be unique, be your own unique self. And so you would be guiding and helping people to shed all those layers of conditioning that is false, that is just covering their eyes and hearts to feel, and also their mind to feel and discover who they are really, their authentic selves. So, and of course, first of all, you have to do it for yourself. So that's why, this can happen in stages, but of course, the stages can overlap. First is that you need to work on yourself, with yourself, and to go through these stages. And in the meanwhile, of course, you don't have to wait until you are enlightened or something to help other people. But throughout this journey, and even it's even sometimes best to do it throughout your journey to help others, because it's very fresh experience. And even you then can inspire each other, when you share your journeys. So everything is very valuable, like this to share when you can. You don't have to wait until you are perfectly aligned, because even people need to be more be able to relate with others, and when you, for example, take a certain gurus who appear to be like there already or something like that, they don't really provide it that much. They're put usually by followers on a pedestal, so they could create a certain version of that guru that is not that really reliable. Like they cannot what is the word, relay you know what I mean, with the person. So you cannot then see yourself as well. You only, maybe you can see yourself only as a certain grandiose as well version of yourself, maybe in the future that you want to achieve, but it's too disconnected from basically who you are right now. And you maybe don't see the path basically there, because there is no path really towards certain ideology, that kind of ideology. And you just really only, when you would go on a path of spiritual growth, you could only see and find your real self, your unique self, nothing that you would be able to come up with your mind, and especially trying to be like someone else that you, or for example, followers created in their minds as well, and then guru is maybe like trying to satisfy them as well, to being what they want to be. So these are unhealthy as ways of maybe helping. Of course, there can be some inspiration coming from gurus and stuff like that, but sometimes, or many of them, are still as well not, let's say, enlightened as they want to be seen as, and it's basically their ego. There are, of course, many people who are on a certain places where they are, like being looked up to, but they are still being more themselves, that they do it really from dedication and their real self, true heart and so on, and they are still as well navigating through their journey. So they are as well not always or already, like fully baked cake. There is always, even for, let's say, gurus, the way how they can evolve. They are never finished. You are never finished. So don't try to reach a certain goal of enlightenment, as you maybe see in some kind of gurus, because that even is somewhat telling you that maybe that is false. There is never a finish line as well. So when you want to materialize real physical contact, you need to get real with yourself, basically. And that is again like really seeing through illusions, even illusions that I was just mentioning, for example, and not trying to invent yourself, your personality, because there are many people who are as well lost, and they don't know who they are. So and they see someone, like that, for example, either guru or whatever, let's say, cool person in a spiritual community, and they want to be like them, and so they are just copying certain behaviors and some stuff like that. So it's not really like doing real change inside of you. So manifesting that contact is about and finding yourself really inside through the changes that you can really do with yourself through investigations. And when you truly do it, you will have those kind of like epiphanies and really feeling the shifts, energetic shifts inside of you, not only on your mental level or like doing it consciously, like okay, now I will behave in a certain way because it's more enlightened to be, let's say, less judgmental. It shouldn't be only happening on a level of mind. It always has to come down to really feeling and doing it honestly and without basically controlling yourself. Because when you need to control yourself in a certain ways, then you know that you are basically just covering something inside of you that maybe you need to look at. It doesn't mean that it's something wrong or bad, how you really feel. If you are, for example, judgmental, then it's showing you that you need to deal with something, not necessarily just not judging people too much, but looking, for example, on like why you judge them, where it started, what is specific things that you judge on other people, and then for example, using a reflection, like how you're judging yourself as well in the same ways. And all this inner work that will guide you deeper and deeper to know who you are, even with all your wounds, with all your programming. But when you finally illuminate it with your consciousness, with your awareness, what is causing you to feel a certain way, behave in a certain way, then you can basically start finally living with it, not suppressing it, not just being kind of like a algorithm or a robot, who just reacts to certain algorithm within you unconsciously and cannot control it. But when you become aware of it, what is there, how you would understand it, then you can shift that behaviors towards yourself and others from that. You don't really necessarily have to change your past, or want to change it, want to shift it, want to forget it, and so on. It's not about that. It's really understanding what these maybe hard times that you experienced before is offering you to be, for example, more understanding. What you could, for example, understand more when you would understand these things that happen to you, and so that's why I say, like, it's not about really, let's say, shifting into the degree that it's almost like it never happened to you. It has to stay, because imagine if it never happened to you, then you wouldn't come to certain understandings. So you have those understandings thanks to being in that way, so you are basically holding it and you need to own it. So again, like going back towards this topic that you asked me to talk about, manifesting that physical contact, you really have to be very, very conscious, because that when you are dealing with us, with our energies, when you are opening up, even when we don't still have a fully physical interactions, that our energies are basically bringing up all those things that are not conscious in you. It brings all those things into your awareness. So that's why you need to go through all these things, and I'm just explaining to you more into like detail about what you can do with it, either when you are being triggered by, for example, our energies, or our as ET's energies, when you have those direct experiences with us, but also in the future for physical contact, that it's just all connected. More you will be able to handle our energies without, let's say, being too much triggered, too much subconsciousness being brought to the surface, that you would be like, aha, there's still more that I didn't understand about myself, that I didn't discover properly, didn't look at. Then you still know that you are still not ready for more and more. And when you would be having more of those interactions with us energetically, than through dreams and stuff like that, and it will not be triggering you as much, that you are really progressing further. So this is the sign that you can as well look at, not just like manifesting more of the contact, but actually how your energy reacts to our energy, and those experiences, of course, how you react to them. So this is a bunch of information that I wanted to share towards this subject. So I hope this open up, maybe more questions within you that you wanted to know as well, ask, and maybe you didn't realize. And right now it may be even connected to certain points within you as well to see bigger picture, because of course I always hope to share wider understanding of all these things. It's amazing that you ask kind of like this very simple and linear questions, and for me that I can unwrap it and share with you like more of like this multi-dimensionality, how it interconnects with all these things. That's I can bring you then or open up your mind into seeing it in more multi-dimensional way than just a certain topic, or maybe idea from which this question came out of, that it's kind of like expands beyond the question or intention that you wanted to know. So that is what I would share for now with you, and you are free to now ask whatever you wanted, either to this topic or whatever you prepared for me. So you have a word now.